Ever found yourself lost in the depth of internet, stumbling upon something so captivating it sparks a wild idea? That's exactly what happened when I stumbled upon this incredible wooden roof. I mean, seriously, have you ever seen anything like it? It's like work of art. And got me thinking, could we recreate something like this in Allplan? And how hard could it be? Welcome back guys to our channel. But hey, before we dive in, let's get our basics sorted. In this video we will be using tools like Multicopy and Midpoint. Don't worry if you are new to this, we got separate videos where we explain in detail how these tools work. So make sure you watch these two videos first and only then proceed with making this amazing roof. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started. First, we'll take the beam tool and create 20 by 40 centimeters beam. The position of the beam in space is not important to us at the moment, but we will connect it to the plane in this way. You can set the priority as you wish, and 350 works for me. I will turn on auto join and the surface is already assigned. The other settings are not that important and you can set them as you wish. We will model one beam with length of 20 meters and then we will use the multi-copy tool to copy it 9 times with a distance of 2 meters. After that we will use the copy, paste and rotate tool, which works relatively simply. Start the command, select elements, find the midpoint, paste in that exact point and set the rotation angle to 90 degrees. Press enter to confirm the command and after that a couple of times of escape to exit. Now with the help of the stretch tool we will reduce the lengths of all beam ends so they won't stick out. We will use the apply architectural components tool to change the height from 40 to 60 centimeters on all the edge beams and click apply. This is not of any greater importance, but it simply looks better. Then we will continue drawing the beams, only now with priority 300 and at the angle of 45 degrees. We draw the beam one by one and with every beam created we press escape to stop the continuous drawing. Now we will draw all these beams on one side and using mirror tool copy them to other part of the roof. Great, we have a frame. Now we need a roof plate. Let's just quickly return angle to 0 and in the settings we will set thickness of the plate to 10 centimeters, but like so that the planes are connected in this special way. Surface and other settings are already set, so we can go directly to OK and draw our plate with an offset of 50 centimeters, while keeping in mind that we choose the point in the counterclockwise direction. Finally escape a couple of times and our plate is currently under the beams, but we will solve that in the next minute. Now we need to make that wavy shape and we will do it very simply with the help of only 2 curved lines. Go to modeling tab and select the 3D spline tool. It must be 3D line, not a 2D. Then we draw a curved line in the X and Y direction, taking into account that we do not exaggerate curves, because in the end the computer has to process that weird looking shape. The first line is finished and we will start the second from the endpoint of the first line in the Y direction. Then it's necessary to rotate these lines, but freely in 3D. First select the elements to rotate, then we need to draw the axis of rotation and enter the angle of rotation. Let's repeat the same process for the second line. And then use the move tool to lift them along the z-axis by 350 centimeters. Note that when you are done with all these steps, the lines must touch at one point or the next step will not work. Start the extrude along the path tool and select one line then another. After creating the surface, press escape to complete the command. Now we want to turn this surface into one of our planes. Right click on the surface and select 3D surface to reference surface. Give it the name and press enter to confirm. In 3D view the surface has disappeared, but the plane we created can be seen in other viewports. After that, delete the unnecessary lines and connect our elements with the new plane. Now we go to Element tab, then change architectural properties, select heights and select modify top level. After that, select our new plane roof and then start the filter by architectural elements, where we will include our beams. Let's cover everything with the selection window, and Allplan will consider only the beams. Finally click apply, and if your computer freezes, give it some time to process the entire model. Now let's attach our plate to the roof, and if Allplan show you two plates as well, just run the update tool, then all, and Allplan will refresh all views and the entire model. Well, congratulations, the roof is finished, only facade remains. I promise it's not going to be that complicated. First, we copy the entire model for some known distance, for example 50 meters. Then, using the same filters, we will delete all inner beams and draw one 3D square, taking into account that it's located inside the edges of the beams. In the side view, we will select the square and move it along the Z-axis by 250 cm down. Draw a new vertical 3D line that goes beyond the highest point of our roof. Using the Convert Element tool, convert our beams and slabs into 3D bodies, so that we no longer need a plane and can freely select and delete it. Now, using the Extrude along the path tool, select the square and line, turn off the option for closed volume, escape to finish the command, and now, given that we only have 3D bodies left, we can use Boolean tools to cut our facade. First, we will cut the facade with the roof and then with the beams. Delete unnecessary lines and move the facade to initial distance. Now let's find and run Facade tool, and it's a really good thing that this tool has templates, otherwise this video would be much longer. Choose structural glazing, and if you open the settings you will see a lot of options, but they are not the topic of this video and we will only assign surface to our elements. Add a transparent surface to the glass, while for the frame we will use the same wood surface that we have used so far. Let's go to OK, then to the Select 3D Surface option. Turn off navigation mode and select our facade. You will see an arrow for direction, but that is not important in this case, and we will just click Escape to execute the command. Give your computer time to process the model, and you will end up with picture like this. You can turn on the ground plane to make the whole picture clearer and choose a good angle to get ready for amazing and cool renders.
Bonus video.
For all of you who have stayed with me so far, I have prepared a little thing that is done very quickly and it's also very cool. You must have noticed that certain parts of the roof are made of glass, and you can do it super fast. You start the Split Surface Elements tool, select the roof plane and cut any shape of the roof. I may have gone a bit overboard with this, but literally any shape is possible. After you have divided the slab, all that remains is to change the material from wood to glass, and you have a glass roof supported by wooden beams. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope this video was helpful and thank you for watching.